Hello, I'm Justin Dehan, and welcome to another segment of Hockey Hardware. Today we're going to be talking about this puck. Now, what makes this puck so special? Well, it's from Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 2006, featuring the Edmonton Oilers and Carolina Hurricanes. This also happens to be the only penalty shot goal scored in Stanley Cup Finals history. Before this goal was scored, there were 8 attempts, featuring some pretty notable goal scorers, including the Big M. Frank Mahovlich was stopped by Tony Esposito in 1971, and in 1994, Mike Richter stopped the Russian rocket Pavel Bure. In 1985, we saw 2 penalty shots in the Stanley Cup Finals in back-to-back games. The Flyers' Ron Sutter and Dave Poulin were both stopped by Grant Fuhr. What makes this goal puck a little bit more interesting is not only that it was the only goal, but with all those high offensive players not scoring, it was Chris Pronger who did score. Now, how does Chris Pronger get to a point where he's taking a penalty shot? The call was made on a George Laraque wraparound where Hurricanes defenseman Lemelin had his hand over the puck in the crease, resulting in a penalty shot. Now, Oilers coach Greg McTavish had the option of any Oiler on the ice to take the shot. So how did he settle on a guy known more for stick checking than stick handling? Well, his options were, as mentioned, George Laraque, Ethan Moreau, or Rem Murray as far as forwards. They combined for 14 goals in the regular season. Or Yaroslav Spacek and Chris Pronger. With that unit, McTavish may have been wondering how his goaltender Dwayne Robertson would fare on a penalty shot, but ultimately elected to go with Pronger, who made no mistake beating Cam Ward stick side from the top of the hash marks on his penalty shot opportunity. That happens to be the only penalty shot of Chris Pronger's career. Now, it was the Hurricanes who got the last laugh. They ended up winning Game 1 5-4 and the Stanley Cup in 7 games. After the Stanley Cup Finals, Chris Pronger ended up demanding a trade out of Edmonton, and he was traded to the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Joffrey Lupul, Ladislav Smid, and a first-round pick. He would end up being traded later again for Joffrey Lupul out of Anaheim when he went to Philadelphia. But let's talk a little bit about his career in Anaheim. Well, the very next season with the Anaheim Ducks, Pronger found himself back in the Stanley Cup Finals, and this time he would be on the winning end, defeating the Ottawa Senators. And for the remainder of his career, 6 seasons between Anaheim and Philadelphia, Pronger would not miss the playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers, on the other hand, a different story. They never made the playoffs after their Stanley Cup Finals appearance for the remainder of Chris Pronger's 6 seasons in the NHL, and only recently returned to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Perhaps it's the curse of Chris Pronger and the curse of the penalty shot goal. That's it for this segment of Hockey Hardware. We'll be back on Monday with another episode, so please join us then, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.